Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about Milo, and I actually brought the tweets because.
Well, so let's preface that by saying the point I want to make sure is clear is that you had somebody who actively called for the death of people. I understand the context issue. Maybe he's talking about video games.
Context and scale.
And scale. So this is a verified user.
And that's just the complexity in acting. It's not an excuse for why we didn't do it in a particular time.
Right.
But and then when
there are a lot of other examples too that get into more egregious areas that I've prepared. So here we have someone with over 20,000 followers. He's verified numerous times, incites his followers to commit a crime against these kids. The action taken against him is delete the tweets, you get a suspension, you get timeout. Then you have people like Alex Jones who berated a CNN reporter, permanently banned. You get Milo Yiannopoulos, he was mean, permanently banned.
But that's your impression. That's not what happened.
Okay,
and I'm here to talk about the details if you want to.
Let's do this one at a time. Let's start with Milo. So what was the details with Milo?
So Milo had a number of tweets that violated our rules going back to 2014. But I'm going to talk about the final three in this three strikes concept. He claimed to be a BuzzFeed reporter in his bio, and he's a verified account, so that is impersonation. I'm not sure why he did that. He did do that.
Well, BuzzFeed's a left-wing thing, so he was doing parody.
Potentially, but our parody rules are very specific that if you have an account that's is a parody account, you need to say that it is a parody account so you don't confuse people.
But everybody who knows Milo would know that he's not a BuzzFeed reporter.
But people who don't know Milo will look at that verified account and say,
but he wasn't verified after a while. You removed his verification.
Because he violated our rules around verification.
So the verification was removed because of the BuzzFeed thing?
I believe so. Okay. I can confirm that, but I believe so. He also doxed someone. He posted private information about an individual. So that was the second one. Mm-hmm. He tweeted to somebody else, if you were my child, I'd have dashed your head on a rock and tried again, which we viewed as a threat.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That seems like he's saying, like, your mom should have swallowed you. You know, it's like... You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're a mistake. I don't think that's a threat.
I understand why reasonable people would have different impressions of this. I'm just going through and telling you what they are, just so we can have all the facts on the table, and then we can debate them. And then the last one, we found a bunch of things that he posted that we viewed as incitement of abuse against Leslie Jones. So there's a bunch of them, but the one that I like to look at, which really convinced me, is he posted 2 doctored tweets that were supposedly by Leslie Jones. They were fake tweets. The first one said, white people are getting on my nerves, like how can you call yourself human? And then the second one said, the goddamn slur for a Jewish person at Sony ain't paid me yet, damn Bix nude better pay up.
So this was just a fake tweet that someone had photoshopped? Two fake
tweets, and we know they were faked because we could still tell from the software that they were faked. You can't always tell.
So it is possible that he didn't know they were faked.
It's possible
that someone sent it to him and he didn't do his due diligence and looking it up. And
it is possible, but it was pointed out to him that they were fake because...
And he left it on?
And not only did he leave it on, he said, don't tell me some mischievous internet rascal made them up, ! So... This in the context of a bunch of other things he was saying towards Leslie Jones on Twitter, I and my team felt that this was taken as a whole incitement of harassment against her.
Wasn't there another issue with multiple accounts that were connected to him?
There were a bunch of other issues on the background, but these are the 3 primary things that we looked at in terms of...
But the other things that were in the background, weren't they multiple accounts that were connected to him? Like...
I think that I'm not sure about that, Joe. I think it was more that we found him to be engaging in coordinated behavior and inciting people to attack Leslie Jones.
Now, with a case like him, no, I'm just going to be honest. When I'm listening to those or listening to you read those tweets out, they don't sound that bad, and they certainly don't sound as bad as calling for the death of a child who's wearing a MAGA hat and throw him into a wood chipper. The fact that that guy's still out there tweeting, and yet Milo's not. Milo's the whole thing stemmed from, other than the BuzzFeed thing, stemmed from his legitimate criticism of a film. And he's a satirist. He was mocking this film.
The doxing incident wasn't related to the film.
The doxing incident.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we...
I hope we all agree that doxing is something that Twitter should take action
100%,
on. Right. And it can threaten people in real life. And I take an enormous amount of responsibility for that, because I fear daily for the things that are happening on the platform that are translating into the real world.
So
Thank you.
Milo is a contentious figure, and there's certainly things you can pull up that I wouldn't agree with anything he did there. I think those are horrible. I think Joe brought up some really good points, but what about Chuck Johnson? Why was Chuck Johnson banned?
I don't have those details in front of me, Tim.
Chuck Johnson said that he was preparing something to take out DeRay McKesson. And in a journalistic context, people take this to mean he was going to do a dossier or some kind of hit piece on DeRay. He was permanently banned. And my understanding, and it's been a long time since I've read this, there was some leaked emails, I think, from Dick Costolo, where he said, maybe it wasn't Dick, I don't want to drag Dick. I don't know who it was exactly. They said, I don't care, just get rid of him. And he was off. So you have, and again, maybe there's some hidden context there, I don't know. But on the surface,
the concern is that this is always leaning towards the left.
Oh, it absolutely is, and I'm not even getting started.